Don't say anything. Just listen to the Lawyer Up podcast.
Lawyer up.
Got any post-graduation plans, man?
So I'll be working in the private equity and M&A team out of the Atlanta office, and I'm super stoked.
Then you were kind of telling me that they're on the Cravath scale. Like,
Yeah.
what is the Cravath scale, man? Tell us what the Cravath scale is, man.
All right, so I learned about the Cravath scale when I was working at King and Spalding, because I think at the time Atlanta attorneys were not valued or paid the same as New York attorneys, and Cravath is a New York firm. They're
Right.
a really prestigious firm, and basically Cravath comes out every year or whenever a pay increase happens. Cravath basically sets what Biglaw will pay. So obviously, if Cravath is paying me, let's say, $225,000 for a first year associate,
Yeah.
every other big law firm that wants to be on their rank, or is on their rank, I guess I should say, because they all do basically the same damn thing.
Yeah.
They're competing for that talent, so they're gonna pay the Cravath scale. If Cravath raises the bar, every other firm that's on that level brings it to that level.
Which is insane, man. Like this guy, we're talking to a future corporate lawyer here, right? This is the suits guy. This is the one that you see on TV. Like, oh, I want to go to law school because I want to be like Harvey Specter. You know Harvey Specter?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, I watched Suits way before. I think
way before it was hot.
Well, before it was on Netflix. Yeah, dude, I was watching it on the TV. So yeah.
You were watching them when they were coming
Uh-huh.
out. I think they blew up, or it blew up again, like over COVID.
Yeah, dude,
And
big
then-
time.
Yeah, honestly, I saw it and I was like, I want to go to law school. I want to do corporate law, right? Because it's sick. But then you get in law school and you realize
It's nothing like that.
corporate is nothing like that. Two, corporate law usually entails transactional work.
Mhm.
And transactional work, you got the behind the desk, you're kind of working on contracts and things like that. And so my whole thing was I want to do litigation. And I know there's corporate litigation. But for the most part, what they're doing and what we don't know is when you go into corporate law, you're probably doing transactional work, right?
Yeah, no. So I will never step foot in a courtroom, or at least
Which is
it would be
insane.
a wild curve for me to step into a courtroom.
So what for you? What made you want to go to law school? This is the cliche. This is the interview question, right?
Yeah,
here.
no. And I'll tell you exactly what I tell the interviewers too.
No.
No,
We
I'm
don't want
serious,
that.
bro.
We don't want that. We want the
Um,
real deal. We want the
Well, so I am very real when it comes to interviews.
true.
Yeah, no. So like, I've never been one to sugarcoat things about my life or anything. I mean, really the only thing that I have going for me is my past. And that's not to say that like I'm not doing things active that are pushing me forward, but my past is my motivator. So like I grew up extremely poor, like
Mhm.
ridiculously poor,
Mhm.
and I grew up without a lot of things, man, and
Mhm.
I had to worry about where I was going to be sleeping, what we were going to be eating that day.
Mhm.
I mean, there were so many times, particularly growing up in Georgia, dude. Like in the summer, like when we couldn't pay for electricity, dude. Like I would wake up just so hot in our house, like, and it's funny because the other day you had mentioned about like taking cold showers and stuff and
Yeah,
cold
yeah.
plunges. And my family, we don't look at cold showers as like a positive thing or as like a trendy thing, because I had to learn how to take a quick shower because it was cold, man.
Yeah, man. that's
And
crazy.
it wasn't fun, dude. And so I kind of stumbled my way into undergrad, to be honest with you. I mean, I had kind of a little bit of an awakening of just like, I don't think things are going well for me. Around 17 years old, like I was on the wrong path. So I knew I had to do something different. And so I decided to go to undergrad. And as I was in undergrad, I started out as a business major because I thought I was going to like own a business or something. And that I immediately fizzled out because I got into economics. And I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm not like that smart, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I pivoted, or at least I'm not smart in that way. So I pivoted to political science.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
through
is,
that,
which is like it's a law school degree, right?
Totally. Yeah. So for everyone who doesn't know, like you don't really need any particular degree to go to law school. You could be anything. I mean, we've got pre-med people that were just like, yeah, med school is not for me. I'm
That's
gonna
insane.
hop my way into law school. But so I got into political science and got really like interested in politics. I thought I was gonna maybe be a politician.
That's what's up.
And I landed an internship in D.C. Working for the House. When I got there, the congressman that I worked for was like, "Hey, man, have you considered going to law school?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "I think you'd be good at it." And I know, like, I mean, I think the stereotype is that lawyers make a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really not the case for most
True.
attorneys, but you can. I mean, the old adage is for lawyers, the floor is really high, the
Mhm.
ceiling is very low. You know, you're not going to become a billionaire being a lawyer.
Right,
You're just
right.
probably not.
Yeah.
Doing straight law, nah,
Yeah.
it's not
Nah,
happening.
nah.
But you can make a really good living. And so that was my motivator, dude. I never wanted to go back to a situation of having to worry about what bills were going to be paid, whether or not we were going to have electricity. I mean, dude, your boy grew up with not having running water at times in my house.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know if you've ever had to wake up and you turned your sink on and only like a little spurt of water comes out and then that's it. And you're like, wait, what? Is this a joke?
Yeah.
And then you have to go to school. You know, the school bus is picking you up
Yeah.
and you didn't brush your teeth, you didn't shower, and you feel bad, dude. You feel low. You know, like I grew up feeling low about myself.
Mhm.
And I knew that for my skill set, going to law school was the only way I was going to not have to go back there.
I mean, what's crazy is a lot of people can relate to that story in one way or another. And the thing is, man, is turning that hardship into something real. And I feel like I guess that's the separator, because you're either a victim or you use that to kind of drive you to the next thing, right?
Yeah, man, that was my main motivator, honestly. And it's weird how it all happened. I was always a driven individual, truthfully,
Mhm.
but my drive, particularly when I was a younger teenager, was in the wrong direction. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you know, for people who grew up with a single parent, like your parent can't be everywhere at once. I had a lot of free time, dude, and
Mhm.
typically when teenagers and young adults have a lot of free time, they don't spend it
No,
well.
no, no.
You know, I wish that I was a different person and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like go into the books and be
Oh yeah, man.
an
Nah,
educated
nah.
person. That really wasn't my thing, dude. Drive was to do the opposite of everything that I think society was telling me that I should do because
Yeah.
I was mad, dude. I mean, I felt
Mhm.
so wrong, man.
For me, and what's crazy is, like, we all have different stories. We ended up in the same spot, and so I kind of have a different background in the sense that because I was pushed by my parents, then I became something. It made it that much more. It made every single challenge that much more difficult because I wasn't the one with that initiative. You remember I was telling you, I was like, "Hey man, do you ever go through lulls or 2 weeks or so where you're just out of it and you're just like, nah, man, I'm kind of just grinding through it." But
Yeah.
me personally, man, that's my battle, which is completely separate than yours, but a battle nonetheless. My battle is trying to find something that's deep enough to where I'm gonna push out of those holes. See, for me, I play ball, and so I never thought about school. I never thought about furthering myself. I really never thought about anything. It was the simple things that everybody tells you to chase, right? Or at least, I mean, personally, young black man, right?
Hmm.
Like, you want to be a professional athlete. You want to be a professional athlete, right? And you want all the girls to like you. And because you're a professional athlete, all the girls will like you. That's kind of how it worked. And so that was my thing. All my friends were the same way. And it was a whole job, man, like keeping that up. And I had no idea what I was going through until I got finished with all that. And then I'm like, dang, man, I lost 4, 5, 6 years of my life focused on entirely the wrong things.
Yeah,
Dang, did I waste all this time focusing on the wrong stuff? And
probably
then on
not.
the oh well, true, man. It's harder for me to get down deep. Like, I have to make it a point to make it about helping other people, because my family, I grew up middle class, right? Like, nothing crazy, but middle class, very standard and
Hmm.
whatnot. And yeah, my parents will be straight if I don't make it. But I think my parents deserve more, right? I think they deserve way more than they have. And all that to say, I just feel like everybody definitely has their problems and challenges. And I think that the more people hear about other others overcoming those obstacles, whether that be your battles or my battles, is something that we almost owe to people that aren't in our positions, right?
No, totally, dude. And honestly, like I have a strong passion for trying to help people particularly if their story resonates with me. That's a big thing for me. I looked at the statistics the other day about people that graduated from high school the same year that I did, or was born in '95.
Mm-hmm.
And statistically, this is from the U.S. Bureau of Education. If you grew up with a widowed parent,
Mm-hmm.
so take away me, being poor, take away living through a divorce, homelessness, food insecurity, all that. Take all that away, and just focus on the fact that my dad died when I was 2. 27% of people that went through that were born in '95 graduated from a 4-year program.
Jeez.
27%.
Really? So
Yeah,
I mean, so you're an anomaly because not only that, but you're in law school.
in
You know
law
what I'm
school, which
saying?
is even smaller.
Yes,
Yeah,
even smaller and probably even smaller than that. I mean, you're going to do corporate law next, man,
yeah, which is wild
which is
too.
the tippy top, which is the top for pretty much everybody that's not in law school. Well, hold on. Pretty much everybody that's not in law school, right? Because that's what you see on TV or maybe criminal defense or something. But because of suits, corporate.
Mhm.
But also, let's talk about this. How in law school, man, if you don't do corporate law, bro, you're not one of those. You know what I'm saying? You're not him. You're not him if you don't do corporate law. Do you feel that way?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Well, for me, yeah, because that was the only goal that I had. You know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
the only thing I wanted to do was corporate law. So yeah, dude. Particularly like when things started looking like 1+1 was not going to equal 2. Like
Yeah.
for my 2L year, I was passed up for Biglaw OCI.
Mhm.
And that's something we can talk about. But yeah, dude, I was like, did I just go to law school? I had a perfectly okay job. Like it paid the bills, everything was fine, and I
Mhm.
really liked it too. And the people that I worked with were incredible. And I thought to myself, like, what am I gonna do? I
Yeah.
did not ever want to be a litigator. And kind of like what you said, if you don't go, transactional, really, and there are other options, but really the only other main option would be to be a litigator.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and that's terrified me, dude. That terrified me because there's so many people that have a strong desire to go into the courtroom and to
Mhm.
advocate in that particular manner. I'm still
Yeah.
advocating for my client, just not in a courtroom.
No, for sure. For sure. I mean, and your client's a Fortune 500 company.
They might be.
Right. Right.
Uh,
For me, I came into law school. All I wanted to do was corporate law because I always saw myself in a high rise in a suit. That's all I wanted, bro.
mhm.
And it was kind of like with ball. I wasn't too pressed on. Oh man, I gotta show out. Like I gotta ball out. Da 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 da. I wanted the gear. I wasn't even you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted the drip. I wanted to walk around campus with gear on. You know what I'm saying? And so I got in law school thinking, man, I want to be in a high rise. I want to be in a suit. So I was in a decent rise in a suit, and it was, it wasn't necessarily, man. It was boring. It was, oh, you know how you talk to attorneys, and I know you have, man. The first attorney, I didn't know one attorney before law school.
Mhm.
I met one attorney, and I said, yeah, man, really thinking about going to law school. And the common, what everybody tell you, he said, "Don't do it."
Don't do it. That's
Like,
the
"Don't
first thing
do
they
it.
say.
Don't do it." You know what I'm saying? Like, "Don't go to law school." And I'm like, "Why not? Why not? It opens up so many doors."
I'll tell you one thing. That's something I'll never say to somebody because every time anyone's ever told me like, don't do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
And then I'm like, "Why are you telling me no? And are you gatekeeping?"
And it feels that way a little bit, you know. And I don't really get it's. I think you have to have your priorities straight, and it kind of goes back to your last question: is success can be uh, determined on so many different things. So if I went
Yeah.
into law school and I wanted to be a prosecutor, and I became a prosecutor out of law school, let's say I landed a job as a assistant DA at some
Mhm.
county, that's success.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Right.
me, success was I knew I wanted to go back to big law.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter how I did it, that is what I wanted to do. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
what success looks like for me. And so I think it's so cruel to say to a young aspiring person who, and like going, even taking the steps to apply to law school, taking the LSAT, that's such a big thing to do.
Yeah.
To just like hate on someone's dreams and just say, no, you don't do that
Yeah, don't.
with no explanation is so wrong in my
Like,
opinion.
what's wrong? You can do
You
anything
can
with it,
do a
right?
lot.
But no, kind of back to what I was saying, man. It was corporate law or die for me. It
Okay.
was corporate law or die for me. And after one L, I was like, it's die. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna bounce back, and then I'll end up where I wanted to be because I was still talking to recently big firms. and things like that. And then I didn't do what I wanted to do. I came to law school like you, like, yo, corporate law, or like this is all I'm here for. I looked at the Cravath scale. I knew the Cravath scale before law school, man. Like I was ready. That's all I had my mind on. And I actually, so I didn't really have a, so I had a choice. My 2L year, I was like, all right. I had a mid-sized firm reach out to me. I had an offer for them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had a small, within that was the regular defense work, and I had a small firm that did plaintiff's work reach out to me, and I said, you know what, it's a smaller firm. I don't necessarily want to do it, but for some reason, it was kind of leading me that way. And I ended up doing personal injury, med mal, and a little bit of criminal defense this summer. Like not only being interested in actually what I was doing, but I had looked up, yo, who's actually doing this? I'm not talking about normal doing this, but like who is notable out of like all the attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
And they either did criminal defense, and you can represent some big names and that's how you get famous. Or they had like a massive class action settlement.
So I want to start at the beginning because my journey started not 3 years ago when we started law school, but it really started 10 years ago. Honestly, 11 now when I went to college. I went to a high school that wasn't really legit. It was basically like in 8th grade, I knew that public school was not for me. I was a troubled kid. I was a troubled teenager.
Mhm.
I was acting out. I was doing all the things that because like, at home, my mom wasn't there. My sisters were occupied, and my
Mhm.
older brother was doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And so it was just me. I was left to my own devices a lot.
Right.
And winter semester of 8th grade, my mom pulled me out. And so I graduated high school in 2012, which was ahead of my time. I should have graduated in 2013. But on paper, I graduated.
Hold on, you
Like I
graduated a
did.
year early?
Yeah, technically.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
word.
Other friends, they had already dropped out of high school, and none of them really had GEDs or anything. So I thought I was like, I made it. I had a high school diploma.
Oh yeah, you're solid.
I was solid.
Yeah.
And that really wasn't the case, dude. And everyone that I knew from public school started applying to undergrads
Mhm.
and things. And 1 plus 1 was no longer equal and 2 on my end. I was walking to work at Wendy's and McDonald's. I was waking up at 5 a.m. I would go into McDonald's. I would walk to McDonald's. I would do the morning shift, give people their coffee, their McMuffins, whatever. And around the lunchtime, I would switch off. All I had to do was change a shirt and a hat, and boom, I was a Wendy's employee. And I think I made like $300 every 2 weeks from both of them combined, so it was 600 total. Yeah, man. So like 1 plus 1 was no longer equal to 2. Like a lot of my friends that I was hanging out with were getting into nefarious activities,
Mhm.
and some of them were really starting to like go down a bad path. Some people got arrested. Other things happened. And I was just like, man, I need to do something different. Like, this is not the direction I want to
Yeah.
go into. We were talking about motivators. At the time, I was motivated to do anything to get a coin. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
And I told my mom, like, I called her and was like, hey, like, I think I want to go to college.
Yeah. The Not to cut you off at all, the initiative that it takes,
I was scared.
that's crazy, man.
And so I went to the local library. I got some SAT books. Had some Kaplan books, so I would read them. I took the SAT 2 different times, man. I didn't score high enough the first time to get accepted anywhere, and so I tried it again, man. I really wanted to go. Like I knew I had to get out. I had to get away of where I was living, the people I was with, everything, dude. I needed to leave.
Yeah.
And when I went, so I was accepted to Georgia Southern on a provisional thing called I think it's called Eagles Incentive Program, EIP. So you go down for the summer and you take a couple of classes, basically to make sure that you can actually hang in undergrad. So my fundamentals were all sorts of messed up. And when I got to college, dude, they immediately called me out. They were like, "You." The teacher emailed me the first paper. She
Damn.
said, "You need to come to my office." So I went there, and she was like, "What? Like, what happened? Like, did you not try? Like, what's
Mhm.
going on?" And I told her, like, I stopped going to school in 8th grade, and I don't know what. Like, I need help, truthfully, and I'm scared. And she was like, "Look, you need to go to every other professor and talk to them and tell them what you just told me." And so
Yeah.
I did, and she helped me with it, and so did all the other professors. Shout out Georgia Southern because I wouldn't have made it without them. Really, dude.
Shout out GSU.
And so that Like when I came to college, I was so focused, dude. I was laser focused on
That's
not
insane,
going
man.
back to
Yeah,
Gwinnett.
bro.
You know, Gwinnett's a really nice area. It's not a bad, like, it's not like the slums or anything, but for me, Gwinnett was bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to do everything in my power. Like, it was really funny because, like, everyone that I met in college thought I was so serious. And truth be told, I was, dude. I was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
focused on not messing up because I finally had something good going.
Mhm.
Something that I knew that if I cultivated this and protected this and kept going with this academia track, I could make it somewhere. I knew it.
Bro.